This is one that I was curious about back in the day. Back in the day being probably like 8 years ago. I watched it and I put it in my top 5 favorite movies of all time.
Warriors, come out to play.
Welcome to the list. This is a show where we pluck out an old movie from the very famous Geeks, Listen, Joysticks podcast list. Watch it and review it for your viewing pleasure. I'm your host, Eder Perez. With me today, Douche. The Douche.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine. You just can't get into it because they would never understand.
And today we're watching one of my favorite movies of all time.
This is on you.
The Warriors. This is one that I was curious about back in the day. Back in the day being probably like 8 years ago. I watched it and I put it in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. The Warriors.
Top 5 all time?
Yes. The Warriors is a movie that came out in 1979 about a street gang known as the Warriors. They must fight their way back from Brooklyn to their home turf of Coney Island when they are falsely accused of assassinating a respected gang leader. Douche. I've seen this movie before. This is actually the only second time I've seen it. I love this movie so much the first time that I was like, okay, that's one of my favorite movies. But what were your overall thoughts of The Warriors, Douche?
The Warriors.
Be honest, because I murder your movies. I murder your shit. So this is your turn to give it to me like it is.
Well, I took it as it is. I mean, it's a 79 movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you expected storylines back then, the graphics back then,
yeah,
the stunt back then.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, it's kind of entertaining movie.
Yeah.
You seen this kind of movie right now, this time? Like John Wick is firing everybody to get somewhere.
Okay, kinda.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I like the vest, the Crocodile Dundee vest.
You called Crocodile Dundees?
The Dundee crew.
The Dundee crew?
Yeah.
It's the Warriors.
And
yeah.
And the Mijo Dundee, the leader.
Main Dundee guy. Yeah. We've actually made a Dundee review of the list as well. I'm gonna link at the end of the video, so make sure you go check that out.
Yeah. It's gonna get you to the movie a little late. Well, the part that is interesting for me is when the police in the subway, when they fire the gang,
yeah,
he throws him to a rail to the subway, man.
Oh yeah, someone just literally dies. That's like one of the things that I'm not a huge fan of. That crew members of the Warriors die and they don't really care.
Yeah, they don't really care about that. And they don't
like Tommy just got run over by a train, and
they're not asking, okay, hey, where's this guy?
Yeah.
Oh, we're not here for. O sea,
that's how it was back then, dude.
Yeah, man. Oh no, that's not cool. That's not cool. But I mean, it's kind of slow.
You think it's slow? I think it starts off quick.
Well, the storyline, yeah.
Well, I think it's fast. I think it's the opposite of what you're saying. I think the intro is literally slow. Like it takes a second. They do the okay. Then we're in. All gangs have a meeting. This guy's gonna talk to all the gangs. We're all gonna become one gang. Motherfucker gets shot. Everybody runs away. What's going on? And we're chasing them. Like I don't know where the slow place for you comes in.
Speaking, where the leader, what happened to him?
He died too.
He died too?
Well,
They're from the warrior gang.
They stomped his ass out too. And all the gangs, like the leader of all the gangs or someone who's trying to bring them all together is like, let's all be peace. And then that person gets shot, and the Warriors get blamed for that murder. And the leader of the Warriors gets stomped the fuck out.
Yeah.
And they hear, but they don't really care. They don't bitch and moan. They're like, oh, that's too bad. That's the only part that I'm like, it's a little weird. Why don't you guys care that your leader just got stomped out in front of all the damn
just saving
groups?
Their own asses, man.
Right. But what I like about it, that it feels like a video game. And I do want to, the Rockstar, I think it was Rockstar made a video game that I do want to, I think it's on the PlayStation Plus or whatever. I do want to go back and not go back. I do want to play it because it feels, the movie very much feels like a video game. We're on the first level. We got to get from this train to over here. And here comes the boss battle. And they're fighting with the baseball guys. And they're fighting with the ninja guys. And they're fighting with all these guys. And it just feels like it progressively gets crazier and crazier and crazier.
There's a time when they saw that they start running. And then I don't know how the fuck they're behind them.
Oh, those are the other guys. Because they split off. When they're at the park.
Uh-huh. See.
El Raidens, that's how I call him. The Capalo, the one that was being a pest. who plays Raiden in the later movies. I think in the second. I think he's Raiden in the second Mortal Kombat movie. I think could be talking out of turn. Okay. But two of them go one way and the other two come the other way and they go hide. And then the ones that went the other way circle back around and that's how they.
Okay, I didn't see that.
But I kind of like that the warrior group is super multicultural and it's like the most diverse group, and all of the other groups are like, here's the whiteys, these are the Latinos, here's the Asian guys, here's the black guys, and the warriors is like the only group that is mixed in with. There's black guys. It's all mixed in. The other groups are not blend in like that.
Yeah, and I like the scene when they encounter the hillbilly gang.
Yeah.
The Black Dundee man, kicking ass everybody, man.
The fighting is actually not. It's not John Wick, right? They do a lot of running, but when it's time to brawl, they're tirando putazos, way. They're hitting each other with the bats, and it's just fun encounters, and I enjoyed it very much. There's a lot of running, but once they're like, oh, let's fucking fight, and they start fighting. You're like, oh shit, like in the bathroom when they're just destroying everything.
Yeah, they're trying to bathroom.
It just feels a little bit more real and grounded, especially for a 79 movie. You know, there's a lot of movies who are a little over the top, but that's what they're there for. This is more rugged and gritty in New York. And it says in the beginning that it's set in in not too long distant future, so it's supposed to probably depict like the 80s a little bit or something. When the first time I watched it, I thought they were just going to be running the whole time, but then they're like, fuck this, and they start fighting in the bathroom, and that part was lit. Bodies flying everywhere.
And the separate, they don't give a fuck about the other guys. Like they want to get separate, and they get caught up with the girls.
Yeah,
with the girls gang. They're just making out,
yeah.
Perreándole estos güeyes, and then the ladies got kicking him and punching him and fighting them because they knew they were being looked up.
There was one of the Black Dundees, as you called them. His acting wasn't the greatest. I'm not gonna lie, it was very robotic. Even after they took Raiden to jail. He comes back, and when they meet him in the subway, and they're like, "Where's the guy?" And he's like, "Oh, the police got him." Like, bruh. You don't give a fuck or what? Is your compa way? Is your homie? You don't give a shit?
There were some scenes that they looked like so rehearsed.
Some actors weren't the greatest. Yeah. It could have been their first role. Don't know. But again, they don't explain a lot of it. Like what happens after. Like, yeah, they mess up the bad guys. There's not over explaining. There's not even a reason why, right? The bad guys start picking on the warriors in the first place. You know? They asked the guy, like, why did you blame us?
Yeah.
And he's all like, because I want to make a mess, man.
Yeah.
It's just, it feels like that was of the times of like a young person in this late 80s, early 80s, late 70s of just, I just want to create chaos. I don't care. There's no rhyme or reason why they even started the mess against the Warriors in the first place. But again, we don't need it.
Yeah. Like the bad guy doesn't, like, they don't show like what is the motive. Like killing
they just ask him like, why are you doing this? He's like, I just want to see everything burn, man. Yeah. He's the bad guy in Commando.
Yeah.
And he's also in like in my growing up. You saw him growing up in Commando.
Yeah.
I saw him growing up in The Longest Yard. He's the creepy old fuck that kills Caretaker.
Oh, really?
He's a little creepy fuck. Yeah. So I don't know if because he's a creepy fuck, but the final battle is a tad anticlimactic. Like nothing really happens. Like he tries to throw a thing and it's like, it's just a little cheesy.
That was like cheesy. Like he dodged a bullet.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a knife.
He throw a knife to the arm to the guy, man.
And he's like, wait, see a little. I wish there was another brawl there or something.
Yeah, kind
of. Or one-on-one. Yeah. But maybe because the guy's too small too.
It doesn't matter.
But the actor is great because he seems like a bad, like he's tiny.
Psycho, yeah,
he's a psychopath.
Yeah,
he's like the way he yells at the clerk lady is like, "What did I fucking steal?" She's like, "Take it, fucker, take it. I don't give a shit."
Hey, what about the money you owe?
What?
It's just like it just feels like levels in a video game. That's why I like this so much. Because, okay, you fought the baseball guys, now it's time to fight the ninja guys. And then here comes the fucking Mad Max guys in the car. And you have to get to the thing. It just feels like a video game. That's why it was made into a video game. Again, I want to check that out. Tony Danza was supposed to be the leading guy of the Warriors.
Really?
Yeah, but due to scheduling, he wasn't able to do it. I don't know if I would have wanted Donnie Danza though. I never.
No.
He's too. He might have been too big at the time because he had the Who's the Boss. I think it was the thing. Maybe he wasn't even big at that time. But
that was the thing back then. Who's the Boss?
I think that's what he passed it on because of he had.
Milano.
So maybe if we would have seen him here first instead of Who's the Boss, maybe who knows what happened. Yeah. But I kind of liked that I didn't really knew any of the actors too.
Yeah, they seem all like.
Just Raiden is the only one that popped out of my head. Yeah. And I let you borrow the director's cut. It freezes it like a graphic novel, like a comic to transition to the next scene, and that's really dope. But that didn't come out until the early 2000s where they had the money to redo it. So you might have seen the theatrical version where it didn't have that.
Yeah, it's not theatrical one.
I liked it. Some people don't, but a lot of people do. This movie has a little cult following, and I'm gonna jump ahead and be inside that cult, man. I enjoy it. I like it. Just the depiction of New York City, the grungy, the gritty. I enjoy it very much. What do you score, Dish?
I give it a.
You give it
a 7 to a crocodile.
7? That feels low, man.
For me.
Okay.
7.
You're wrong.
What? You can rate it 9? No.
It's at least a 9.5.
What?
For 79?
But I mean,
what you mean, dick?
There are a lot of better movies.
From 79?
The 70s? Yeah. Just
sure.
79.
Well, that's what you're comparing it with. You're not comparing it to fucking Avengers.
No.
You said John Wick, you cheater. John Wick cried for the doggy more than anybody else did for anybody else in the crew, and they lost 3 fucking members.
They don't give a fuck about that.
They don't give a fuck. I don't want to be a warrior, but I like to watch them.
It'd be interesting how you can eat the gang, you know? What have you do to get the
They
gang?
left all that out, which I kind of like. You have to put the pieces together. They have the young guy who's like doesn't know que pedo. It's just you have to put a lot of the pieces together yourself, and I enjoyed that
because they don't know who's next. You know, who's the leader.
Who's the leader, and they have to find out that. It's a good watch. I enjoy it for those gaming aspects, but I recommend it. Would you recommend it to anybody?
I recommend it to you. Yeah,
to me. Fuck off, these. All right.
I mean, it's a good watch. I mean, I know why you want to be watching.
Yeah. Because I like it. It's better than any Van Damme movie out there. Shots fired. It is.
Well, it could be story-wise, yeah.
All of it.
Story-wise, yeah.
All of it. If you guys don't believe me.
I mean, the fighting?
Fighting, I don't know. But
Van Damme doesn't touch a bullet, so.
Whatever. This is better than Van Damme. If you guys don't believe me, here's a video of Van Damme. And then over here is another video of Crocodile Dundee. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and always and forever you do you.
Douche.